use science book, children, one notebook, pen, pencil. Already we discussed in previous class what are the characteristics of living things and non-living things. Characteristics completed. Today we are going to discuss about the construction of microscope. And last class we discussed about after means dying the plants, dead plants, particularly dead plants. Okay, dead plants are coming under the group of means in between the dead plants are intermediate in between the living and non-living things. In between the living and non-living things, children. So previously we discussed. So today we have to discuss about construction of microscope. Yes. See, what are the types of living things, non-living things, and which can able to grow, which cannot, which is not able to grow. Okay. Okay. And last previously we went about the plants that can grow throughout its life, whereas animals cannot grow throughout its life. Okay, we learned previously. Growth, reproduction, breathing, response to stimuli, getting rid of waste from the body, the things we discussed. Okay. What are the characteristics of living things and non-living things? And after that we discussed oviparous and viviparous. Okay. How plants that can respond to the stimuli, response to the heat, light. Okay. And last class particularly we discussed about are there food materials stored in the seeds or not? Yes, food materials are stored in the seeds in the form of cotyledons. Cotyledons. So now, yes, the children concentrate here. Today we are going to discuss about how can we observe the living things under a microscope. How can we observe the living things under a microscope? So, children, for example, when you are going to observe the letters, what letters given in the textbook, okay, by using magnifying lens, okay, magnifying lens. Particularly, you can see that its letters very clearly. Okay. Today we have to discuss about yes. So by using magnifying lens, not glass, then here see the letters in a book are quite small. What do you means what do old people do to read books? Children frequently play with magnifying lens. When we see objects through magnifying lens, they seem to be bigger than their actual size. Yes. Children, you can observe that when we are going to observe letters, how should be now letters are too small to visible to us. Letters are too small to visible to us. But when you are going to observe by through the magnifying lens, by when you are going to observe through magnifying lens, these letters you can see very clear. Okay. So how can we prepare the magnifier? Prepare your own magnifier. Prepare your own magnifier. Okay. So for the preparation of own magnifier, what are the material required? Electric bulb liquid, children, listen here. So first we may remove the filament from the electric bulb. So electric bulb should be present like this, you know. So in the filament is there. You can identify the, say, filament which should be present. You know, this is only filament. We can remove this. This we can remove. Only we can see what is the transparent glass, transparent spherical glass. Okay, collect and used electric bulb, remove its filament, fill water in half of the bulb, fill water in half of the bulb, see a book through this bulb, do the letters in the book seem bigger, do the letters in the book seem bigger. Okay. Yes, by through this, we can observe that how it should be very big. Okay. Listen here. When you are going to observe that letters by through the bulb, once again, children, everyone concentrate here. So first we may take that electric bulb. We should take that electric bulb. This electric bulb can fill with water. Half of the electric bulb can fill with water. And after filling with water, what you do, listen here. Say, you can see the book by the help of this electric bulb. Means after filling with water, what happens, sir? You can see that letters appears to you very big. Letters appears to you like very big. Okay. Next, concentrate here. Are all the things around us visible to us? No, all the things are not visible to us. Many microorganisms are there. Okay, in water. And next, you can identify that many dust particles are present in air. So that particles we can't see, we can't observe. Are all the things around us visible to us? No. Name some small animals that you see. Name some small animals that you can see. Children, listen here. Can we see mouth and listen here? Can we see mouth and antenna for ants and small insects with our naked eye? No, we can't see that. Listen here, dear children, mouth and antenna of ants means very, very small, and only very small that, but it is not possible to observe its mouth. It is not possible to actually, antenna means this is the respiratory organs of the ants. Respiratory organs of the ants. Okay, antenna. Children, listen to me here. Antenna word, respiratory organs, listen here. So, when you touch flowers, a yellow color powder sticks your fingers. If you want to know what it is, what can you do? Okay. See, children, listen to me here. When you are going to touch with the flowers, what happens? Say, yellow color, it should be present, yellow color powder. Particularly, we can observe that. Okay, stigma. Say, when we are going to observe, for example, Datura flower is there, like Datura flower is there. Datura flower. In the stamens, male reproductive organs, next female reproductive organs, pistil should be present, pistil. So above the pistil, you can identify that powdery-like substance it should be there. Powdery-like substance it should be there. Okay. So then it should be in yellow color. So that sticks to our fingers. If you want to know what it is, what can you do? We cannot see all things around us with our naked eye, because those things like antenna of ants, yellow powder of flowers are very small. In the living world, there are some things that are not visible. We cannot see them. We can see those small organisms under a microscope. Yes, children, listen to me here. So it is not possible to see all the things. It is not possible to see all the things which are present to the surrounding of us. Okay, so listen here. Antenna fans means very small to means visible to our naked eye. Okay, it is means too small that we can't observe. Next, yellow color of this powder means actually this is pollen grains. Yellow powder means pollen grains. It is also not possible to observe. Means very small. You can see that yellow color is here. Okay, means by putting above the glass slide. By putting above the glass slide, you can see that, but very too small. Okay. In the living world, there are some things that are not visible. We cannot see them. We can see those small organisms under a microscope. Living beings that we can see only under the microscope are called microorganisms. So, children, everyone concentrate here. Say, by the observation of how can we see the things? Small organisms. Okay. Small organisms. By using a microscope, we can identify the small organisms. Okay, like bacteria, virus. Virus means it is not possible to observe. Means for the electronic means compound microscope required. Okay, means specially designed, specially made a microscope. Children, concentrate here. So living beings that we can see only under the microscope are called microorganisms, which is going to observe under the microscope, which is going to observe by through the, which is going to observe by through the microscope that are said to be microorganisms. Okay, so now we have to discuss about the microscope. Okay, and what is the uses of microscope? Okay, how we are able to see that things by the help of microorganism means by the help of microscope, not microorganism, microscope. Children, today we have to discuss in detail about how can we observe things by the observation of microscope. Before going to discuss about that, first we can identify, we may discuss about construction of microscope. Construction of a microscope. Okay. So, microscope is an instrument with the help of which we are able to see minute things that we cannot see with our naked eyes. It works like a hand or magnifying lens. Hand lens or magnifying lens. It is much more powerful. Yes. Microscope, this is the instrument. Okay. Children, everyone concentrate here. What is microscope? So, microscope is an instrument. Okay. Say, device. Okay. The device. The device. Children, listen to me here. The device, microscope. So, instrument. So, by the help of this instrument, we can able to see the things, minute things. Okay. Means which is not going to observe, which is not able to see through our naked eye. Naked eye means through our eye, directly with eye. Okay. Some things we cannot see directly through our eyes. Okay. Listen here. So means how it works means it works like a hand lens, works like a magnifying lens. What is a microscope? Works like a magnifying lens or hand lens. So this is most powerful, children. Okay, but hand lens means magnifying lens means very small. That okay, and we cannot observe the internal section of the. For example, say when we are going to cut the stem of the plant. Okay. So after cutting the stem of the plant, we can see that what is the internal section of the stem. How can we see the internal section of the stem means by the help of microscope. When you are going to observe by through magnifying lens means that gives a bigger image. But we can't identify internal parts of the internal section of the stem. So how can we able to see the internal structure of the stem means by the help of microscope only, by the help of microscope, children. Now we have to discuss about the microscope. Okay. So this is the structure of microscope. So eyepiece, by through this eyepiece, we can see the inside. Okay. Why eye means by the help of, okay, here we may put that, okay, means okay, by through this lens here, okay, by through this lens we can see the things, means here we may bring the our eye, okay, here we may, so that's why this is called eyepiece. Next, objective lens is there, okay, for changing adjustment distributed into objective lens, arm of the microscope. Next, coarse focus, okay, coarse focus, fine focus, so we can adjust that, okay, means to visible the internal structure of the stem, internal structure of the leaf, whatever it is, base there, total base it should be present. Light means, okay, focus light it should be present, means by observing the thing, observing the internal structure of the leaf, internal structure of the body. Let's see, next one more here, slide it should be there. Slide it should be present. Slide, stage, objective lens. Slide, stage, objective lens. Now, children, listen to me here. So, basically, there are two components in a microscope: the structural component and visual components. Okay, two components. Two components are there here. Okay, two components are there in a microscope. What are the two components? Means structural component, visual components. One is structural component, another is a visual component. Visual component. So, what is the help of this structural component? Structural components are the what is there, which are coming under the group of structural components, means head or body, total body, head or total body, see, total body, head, total body, base. Next, visual components means, okay, visual components means eyepiece, objective, nose piece, objective, nose piece, okay, nose piece. Okay, next, coarse, fine adjustment knobs, stage, aperture, these things are coming. And second, children, listen here. So two components are presented. Okay. When we are going to discuss about the structure of microscope, means two components are there: structural component and visual component. So structural component means head or body coming under the group of structural component. Whether that only head and body means not only the base it should be present to arm. Head or body, base and arm. Head or body, base and arm. Visual components means eyepiece, objective, nose piece. Eyepiece, objective, nose piece. Coarse, fine adjustment snaps, stage, aperture. These things are say structural components. Children, next, visual components. Structural components and visual components. Two components we discussed. Now, here, figure 8 means a diagram showing that what is that? Labeled, shows a labeled diagram of a compound microscope. Taking its help, identify different parts of microscope near school. Yes, there in our laboratory. What is that? Microscope should be presented. The children concentrate here. Okay, so means we can see there. Okay, what are the parts of microscope? Okay, so the children concentrate here. Say we can observe that by the observation of a microscope. Okay, what is a structural water? coming under the group of structural components, water coming under the group of visual components. Okay. See next now, what is the function of microscope? Now we want to see some more microorganisms. Yes, wanted to see some microorganisms. Where we can find them? Where can we find them? Okay. Now we want to see some microorganisms. Where can we find them? So first, bread mold. Children, listen to me here. This is the bread mold. Bread mold. Generally, our elders say that we shouldn't put better spoons in pickle jars. Why do they say this? When you put wet spoons in a pickle jar, the pickle will spoil. See, children, listen to me here. Okay. So our elders made this says, okay, usually they can announce, okay, we shouldn't put the wet spoons. Okay. Whenever we repair that, we can at that time we may insert spoon, at that time they may give that guidance to us. Don't put that wet spoon in the pickle jar. Why? What is the reason? Means, when we are going to put that wet spoon in the pickle jar, okay, pickle can spoil. Why that pickle can spoil? What is the reason? Okay, means fungus may enter. Say what happens when you pack bread or vegetable and keep for a couple of days, you observe that they become rotten and they emit a foul smell. You can see thin thread like gray color substance, thin thread like it's a gray color substance. After some days, this gray color substance turns black. If you touch this material, black color substance sticks to your fingers. Okay, your children concentrate here. So when you are going to pack, particularly say you can identify that sometimes after placing the bread aside for a couple of days, what happens, sir? Okay, bread or vegetable, whatever it is, bread or vegetable. So after keeping aside, what happens is you can observe that okay, it will become rotten. Rotten the kulipod. Rotten means kulipod, damages. Okay, at that time that produces a foul smell, bad smell. Rotten. Next, they emit a foul smell. We can see thin thread-like gray color substance. Thin thread-like gray color substances. Okay. Say when you are going to observe, once again, children, everyone understand here. Say bread or vegetables after keeping a few days aside, what happens? You can identify that. Okay, so you may get different smell or smell there. Next, red like gray color substance usually forms there above the surface of the bread. Okay, so means after some days again this gray color again turns into black color. Okay, so if you touch this material black color substance sticks to your fingers. Yes, sticks to your fingers. Okay, when you are going to place it, okay, black color that substance, when you are going to touch that black color substance, what happens, sir? See, that sticks to our fingers. Okay, so collect this rotten material and observe it under a microscope. Note your observation and discuss with your friends. Draw the structures seen by you under the microscope. See, children, everyone concentrate here. So, if you place the bread or vegetables aside, okay, where mainly this what happens means usually it will become rotten. Okay, changes the smell. Usually the produces foul smell. Next, you can see thin thread like gray color substance usually forms above the surface of the bread. So after few days, what happens, sir? This gray color turns into black color. Gray color turns into black color. So when you are going to touch the material, black color substance that sticks to our fingers. Sticks to our fingers. Next, you can observe that this rotten material and observe under the microscope what happens. So by the observation of after putting this children, after putting this gray color bread under the microscope, you can see that very clearly. What is the structure of that bread? Actually, these tiny thread-like structures are commonly called a mold. Okay, mold. Can we say that mold is also living? Yes, mold also living only. Listen here. Okay. See, thin thread-like substance, thread-like structure, thin thread-like structure. So we can see that commonly we can see that when you are going to observe under the microscope. Okay, children, listen here. So once again, everyone concentrate here. If you place the bread aside for few days, what happens? You can observe that it will become rotten. Okay, that produces a bad smell. So next, we can see gray color substance. We can see over the surface of the bread. Okay, what is that gray color substance? So after a few days, this gray color should be turns into black color. So when you are going to observe under the microscope, you can see very clearly what is that. Means what is the structure of the microscope? Actually, what is the structure of bread? Not microscope. What is the structure of the bread? Okay, means internal structure of the thread-like structure of the bread. Okay, actually that is called a mold. That is said to be mold. Okay, thin thread-like structure. What we are saying, that is called a mold. Okay, so whether mold is a living or not, means this mold is a living only. How should be mold that develops on spoiled material? Spoiled material is able to produce a new mold. Okay, it can able to use that new mold. Okay, and it grows. So that's why mold is a also living one. Mold is also living. We all know that cows gives us milk, so they are useful. Do microorganisms help us in any way? Okay, cows gives us milk. You know, you can identify that cows gives us milk. So they are very useful for us, or not as useful only. Okay, microorganisms help us in any way. Yes, microorganisms as well as that can help us. Okay, next, why is idli mixture? Why is idli mixture can prepare the day before, 1 day before only? Our mother usually she can prepare. Okay, usually she can prepare that 1 day before only. What is the reason? Okay, so till now, what are the structures of microscope we discussed? Visual components, structural components we discussed. What are coming under the group of structural components means head, body, base. Next, visual components means eyepiece, objectives, nose piece, pores. Okay, fine adjustment knobs. Okay, stage, aperture. These things we discussed. Next, children, everyone concentrate here. Say, take bread means which was placed aside for a few days. Usually, you can identify that it will become rotten, and next they can produce a foul smell, bad smell. Okay, we can see that thin thread-like gray color substance, thin gray color substance. Okay, thread-like substance, thread-like gray color substance also the bread. Okay, these gray color substance, what happens means after few days it should be turns into black color, so that we can see under the microscope. Okay, under the microscope. So when we are going to observe the internal structure of that body, actually that contains two components, structural component and visual component. No, these are the parts of a microscope: structural component and visual component. But when we are going to observe this black color substance of the bread under the microscope, what happens means, okay, children, listen to me. Bread bone, usually the called bread mold. Okay, thread-like structure. What is formed over the surface of the bread. Okay, after placing the bread for a period of time, means for few days, inside what happens? Usually you can observe that a gray color substance over the surface of the bread. That only see means this gray color substance after few days turns into black color. Okay, this is only said to be bread mold. This is only said to be thread-like structure. Okay, what we are observing that thread-like structure. Okay, that is only said to be okay mold. See whether mold is a living or non-living means mold is a living only. So where that can develop this mold means that can develop on a special material, spoil material, not special, spoil material. Okay, means above the garbage, above that is an here. So mold usually that can develop above the spoiled material only. Okay, means it is the way to produce a new mold. Okay, new mold is it here. So mold is also living only. Growing means mold is also living only. Next, you can identify that children listen here, and we all know that cows gives us milk, so they are useful to microorganisms help us in any way. Okay, their children concentrate here. Okay, cows particularly that can produce milk, you know, that gives us a milk particularly. Okay, these milk is very useful to us. Okay, very useful to us. Microorganisms also that can help for us. Okay, so particularly you can identify that how that helpful for us means. Okay, say our mother particularly she can prepare. It's duff means idli means, for example, say why is the idli mixture prepared the day before for fermentation, and why do we add a little amount of buttermilk or milk to get curd? Yes, buttermilk or milk means listen here, for converting into curd, okay, a sample of curd is required. A sample of curd is required for converting the okay milk into curd. Okay, little amount of buttermilk required here. So next, today what we discussed visual components, structural components of microscope we observed. Next, how the produces mold. Okay, bread that produces mold. Okay, when we are going to place aside that bread for few days. Okay, gray color substance we can identify over to the surface of the bread. This gray color substance only after a few days turns into black color substance. Okay, we can see very clear under the microscope. Next, I shall unmute that. If you have any doubt, you can ask that.